doors of the Love Church are now open. Dear world, you name it, we cover it from the world of singles to the behind the scenes of the greatest movie ever filmed, called Marriage. We dig into everything from dating 101. Why won't they commit? It's complicated. I can't do it if it's the three of us. They're a good person, but I'm not attracted to them in that way. 2, they really didn't disclose who they were before I said I do. How do I do this if they can't keep a job? The bills are paid, but the bedroom is suffering. Did I marry you or did I marry your family? Because we only can take care of us. Let's open up our marriage. Why do I have to buy into your beard gang illusion? You could have told me you were down low and we could have remained friends and not married. And last but not least, did you marry me or your pastor? Have we gotten your attention yet? If so, tune in to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to hear more of today's real issues in the world of love. The doors of the Love Church are now open.
You know, I'm just like, somebody's still going in and out of the chat. I don't understand what's happening, you know.
I'm in the chat now. I'm in now, okay? I'm in.
Y'all, I gotta tell y'all, we was trying to call ourselves going live and doing tests. And guess what somebody was doing? Going in and off camera 6 times. the thing sounding it like he's playing marbles over there. Like, what is going on? Anyway.
Whatever, bro. Whatever.
Hello, good morning, good night, everyone, and welcome to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. I'm your host, Charles Dixon. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Adam Ford. Yes, let's get this out the way.
What's up? What's up, family? How y'all doing?
We appreciate y'all for being a little flexible with our timing today. Both of us are on location and undisclosed locations for business.
You can tell them you in Atlanta.
Oh, business/personal reasons. Somebody else over there. Somebody over there. The cartel might come in and get somebody in a minute. But anyway.
Hey, you know what? It's all good. I will enjoy the trip while I'm here in Cancun, Mexico. That's right. I will enjoy the trip while I'm here in Cancun, Mexico. You best believe that.
I know that's right. But anyway, listen, y'all, we appreciate y'all for definitely being flexible. Those of you who could adjust your schedules for the purpose of today's show. Anyway, otherwise, we hope you had a wonderful week. And, you know, I know things are always something crazy coming up. But, you know, we live life and we make it to see another day.
Thankfully. Yeah.
Okay. So, see, Demetrius says Adam sounds a little garbled.
Oh, Lord.
Then he's going to go to restart his computer. And then the show, you know, he's going to go through all of the stuff. So, you know.
I mean, the only thing I can carry you to is my Wi-Fi. You know, if you're in a different country, you're gonna face some challenges technologically wise. So
yeah.
Hopefully, as the show progress,
let me ask you a question, Adam. Are you on a device or your phone?
I'm actually on my tablet.
Okay, so you're using the location, the Wi-Fi of the place. You're not using like a hotspot.
Yeah, I'm using the Wi-Fi of the place. Yeah, for the most part. I have a VPN. I'm using the tablet as a VPN. I have a VPN on it, which encrypts a lot of my data and information, so that way I don't get hacked or whatever like that. And so the VPN is actually connected to a server in Chicago. But hopefully, you know, the signal is strong enough for you guys. Just you guys let me know if you can hear me well, if I'm starting to get garbled, or if I'm sticking, or if I'm stuttering. I'll make as many adjustments as I can to kind of come through stronger with this signal and everything like that. So yeah, hopefully we'll get better as the show goes on.
You know,
I tried to get somebody that tested the signal earlier today, but somebody was so busy.
Busy. Look, somebody. Look, I don't think it's the Wi-Fi at all. I think because of where you are, I think it's the white stuff they sell in the Wi-Fi line.
You know what?
Smuggle that. Anyway, so yeah.
Somebody, you're so wrong for that, man. You are so wrong for that. Oh my God, you're so wrong for that. That's okay. When Maria get back in the country, she's gonna get you. She gonna come looking for you. She gonna come get you. You keep on playing with the people. Keep playing with the people. Find out what happened. Get abducted, bro.
Maria, he think we could use ID mode to take them back. No.
See, she gonna walk in this room and she gonna have something for you. Keep playing.
All right. All right, let's get it. Okay, so today, I thought about today's topic, Adam, and I said to myself, we are as a people, we so overwhelmed with meeting someone, relationship, having someone, getting to the other side, getting married, getting holiday booed up, all of these things. That we ignore one of the most important things that we should be looking at or looking out for. And that is genuine interest. I think we forgot what interest means, how important it is, and how much that it's really, to have a great relationship, you need two people who are actively working interest. Both people need to feel the fire of those wheels churning. Like the one person they can feel that you coming after them, and vice versa. I think the problem we run into today is that I think we are misdiagnosing what genuine interest is. So,
I said, okay.
So I think since you're sounding like I think I'll go ahead and read today. Just for
gee, thanks. Wow.
It's sounding like this. But anyway, all right. When it comes to dating, the concept of one's romantic interest should seemingly be one of its clearly defined aspects. However, it is not always as clear-cut with all of the potential variations available today that often cause lines to become blurred. For some, we take liking our posts or photos as interest. For others, we take people who are always in our DMs as interest. But for most, those who suggest to take us out gives us an even greater interest. That said, with all of those gestures, we can't get too wrapped up without considering the true intent behind their interest. This is why it is important to know that when interest is not infused with desire from both parties, it's an open gate of delay and unmet expectations. So, traditionally, let's just start there. Traditionally, we identify interest as how you doing? I would like to get to know you, right? You look nice, all of those things. I appreciate what you do. Let's just say if you went to an event and somebody was performing, you're going to tell them they did a great job. Or if you're at an art show, you created that. Oh, that's amazing. Whatever, right? You go into all those things, and then you initiate the mutual contact. You get your info switched, and then from there, it used to go this game of one person would go home and tell their friends, I think I met this special person, and vice versa. But then there's the game of who's calling first, who's texting first, right? I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to wait for that person. Then when it happens, you go out, if it's all positive, and from there, supposedly, here comes the walk of love from that point out. Hypothetically. Nowadays, be in the DMs. Yeah, I like your post. Yeah. So what you got on Friday? You look real nice. All right. But even though they done told this same person, they done told 25, 50 people in the same day, the same thing, right? But it's your turn right now. So they're telling you this. And so I think our interest meters are broken and we're not able to identify things properly the way they should be in order for us to, feel like we're doing something from a holistic and healthy perspective.
Right. I mean, okay, so I I'm a simple man. I am. It doesn't take a lot to, to keep me, interested. And I like to live my life in as simple terms as I possibly can, with as few complications as possible, because life in and of itself is already complicated. So why would I want to complicate it more with encrypted subliminal messages?
Right.
I've learned in my little 54 years of life that the best way to get somebody to understand you is to directly communicate to them what your intent is. I don't like a whole lot. The only games that I play are Uno, my PS5, and my Xbox Series X. I don't play games with people. I've never played games with people.
You're leaving out another one.
Yeah, I don't like sitting here and acting like
you left out the bedroom. Anyway, go ahead, keep on going. It's time to be doctor and patient. Okay, but go ahead. Anyway.
Oh my God! Wow, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
That's a whole different thing.
All right.
No, Bruce, I'm not in the bathroom. I know I sound like I'm in the bathroom, but I'm not in the bathroom.
Oh.
I'm in this hotel room. In this hotel room, the acoustics are bad. That's why I have my earbud in. I'm trying to use the mic for that to sound a little bit better. But if it's not working, if you guys can't hear me, then I'll just shut this off and just use the tablet or whatever. But let me know how I'm sounding so I can, like I said, make adjustments as I go along.
Yeah.
But no, I like to keep things as straightforward and as simple as possible. I think maybe, well, not even maybe. I know for a fact that I've never been that person to play games with other people. I don't. You don't have. If you want to be in a relationship with me, it's never going to be you have to guess at what my intentions are or if I'm interested in you. The fact of the matter is, I'm going to let you know from the get-go. And I would hope and pray that if you're interested in me, that you would also be just as direct, just as transparent, so that we both know where we both stand in terms of whether or not we're going to pursue one another.
Right.
Well, why do we have to play games as to whether or not, if you're interested in me? And I get it. When we're younger, you're apprehensive, you're hesitant to put your real feelings out there, because if perchance you are rejected, then you don't want to feel as if you've lost anything. But as an adult, as a grown man, grown woman, let's be honest. Why do we have to sit here and play games? Why do we have to sit here and guess at what your intentions are? If you intend to date me, then date me. If you intend to be in a relationship with me, then be in a relationship with me. What does it matter who texts who first? What does it matter who calls who first? What does it matter? If I am interested in you and I want to be with you, then I'm going to make it plain. You're not going to have to second guess as to whether or not if I want to be with you. Why do we have to sit here and shuck and jive, as they used to say back in the day, as to whether or not if we're going to be with one another? Come on, let's be grown-up men and women and act like we're interested in each other. How about that?
I think the reason for this is I feel like we have replaced interest with respective pride. And people won't make certain moves anymore that we used to normally do organically because we're afraid of overcommitting, looking too thirsty, looking like we want it more so than the other person, all that kind of thing. And so nowadays you would have, it's almost like one party or the other, whether it's the man or a woman. It's like there's the interest is established, and then one party or another sits back, folds their arms, and see how much interest you're going to show. Okay. What are you going to plan? How many times you're going to call me? How many times you're going to think you want to see me? But I'm going to sit back and wait, and not realizing that we're both experiencing the same kind of life. And both people need that reciprocation. The man needs to feel that he's being thought of throughout the day or all of those things, and vice versa. It's not just it's not a one-sided affair. You know what I'm saying? It's two-sided. And I think we have got interest twisted, and we feel like interest nowadays means prove yourself to me. It doesn't mean let's show one another how much we appreciate what we found. It is prove how much you want to be with me, because in comparison to these other interests, I need to know who the highest bidder is. You get my drift? That's what it is. Yeah.
And so what about if we just met?
Yeah.
We don't have an established relationship.
Correct.
Which means we're actually at the stage as to whether or not, if we are actually interested in each other. And if we are actually interested in others, then we can move forward with that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that I have to do something to prove myself to you.
Yeah.
Or so if it's going to be a issue of providing evidence that I am into you, then you have to provide just as much evidence that you are also interested in me.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair, right?
No, that's totally fair.
Thing.
It's just, but you know what? The reason why it's not popular, because there is no fun in both of us sitting back, showing the same amount of action. Nowadays, people want to see someone sacrifice themselves. In other words, you go first. And it's like you go first, so I can say, oh, he gonna trust me. He or she gonna be on my phone in a minute. They always call soon they get on from work. We want to see that other person going the extra mile while you sit back and be comfortable and throw stones. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna be a little unpopular with everybody who's listening. And I'm gonna put it to you like this. That's a very cowardly way to pursue a relationship.
For sure.
That's if I was on the street corner, that's a punk way to pursue a relationship. You're gonna act, come on.
Yeah.
If I'm interested in you, then I'm interested in you. Okay, and I want to be with you, and I want to let you know that I want to be with you, not by only what I say, but also by what I do and my behavior and my attitude towards you, so you don't have to sit here and guess. If I'm being direct with you, then I expect you to also be just as direct with me. Why do we have to sit here and again play a game, a subliminal game, where I have to sit here and put the puzzle pieces together to discern and to ascertain as to whether or not if you're interested in me? Why can't we just be clear? Why can't we just be upfront? Why can't we just be transparent with one another and be open with one another? Because the reality is, I don't want to sit here and waste time with somebody who only wants to play games, only to come to find out that they're really not interested in me. Who wants to spend months on end with somebody, okay, and you're doing all that you know to do? You're putting yourself out there only to come to find out that they have no real desire to be with you. They only wanted to see what you were going to do. I don't have time for that. Yeah. I don't have time for that. But as a grown person and as a grown man, we don't have time for the play those games. Let's be real, y'all.
No, that's true. I think the reason for this is like echoing what Demetrius said, is that we have to realize that like what you just spoke is an ideal world, an ideal mindset.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we live in a time where we're dealing with the emotionally damaged, the emotionally unavailable. You know what I'm saying? The wounded. So we're not dealing with a hospital that has a 10% admittance rate. We're dealing with people that's flooding over. So we're attempting to love in an environment that's very much, people are claiming to be ready, but it's very much damaged. So it's not unlikely to come across somebody. It doesn't matter how or where you meet them, that they don't come out and you're going to start noticing those behaviors that they're silently saying you go first, and you go first for a while, because I'm not ready to go. I need to see how much you're going to go, because all this have been taken from me. You know what I'm saying? So all these things I lost, hopefully I can see them rebuilt through you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we go wrong. Yeah.
I understand that. And even with to Demetrius' point, I get that people are
are emotionally damaged, having been in past relationships and having had relational experiences that have left them injured, that have left them debilitated, that have left them fractured. I get that. I understand that. So let's address that real quick. I think that if you are still damaged and injured from a previous relationship experience, you should not be in the dating pool. You shouldn't be anywhere near anybody who's trying to date. You know why? Because you're not ready. You're still bleeding out. You still have a broken leg. You still have a fractured arm. And you're not ready to date anybody because you are broken and you need to be healed. The only way that you're going to be able to get healed is to take time out and get yourself together. Because I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to deal with a person that's not healed and whole. Because now you're exhibiting behavior that makes me wonder, why should I spend time with you when you're not willing to put yourself out there the way that I'm willing to put myself out there? I see and I understand that you're trying to protect yourself. You're trying to keep from having to go through the same situation that you went through previously. I understand that. I get that. But the reality is, if you're not ready, you're not ready. It's okay not to be ready. But it's not okay to sit here and put on a pretense as if you are ready, and then I have to do what I'm doing to get you to be interested in me, and you're just not there yet. Yeah. It's okay not to be there yet. But what you need to do is you need to take care of yourself so that when the time comes for you to be ready, when the opportunity presents itself, where there is somebody who is a prospective potential mate for you, you are prepared. You are ready. That's why it's so important that when we come out of relationships that we have been in, that we take the time out and we do the things that are necessary to get healed, to get whole, to decompress all of that stuff that we've been through so that we can clear all of that past stuff out and be open and ready for the next one that's coming in line.
Well, okay, that's good. But here's another angle to look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Another even bigger problem is those of us who think we know what ready looks like. We don't even know what ready looks like. And ready isn't okay. Ready doesn't always mean you're prepared and ready to do all of the things I feel should be engrafted into this relationship, right? Some people feel like ready means anything I want to do, anything on my list, anything I have wishes for, is you're going to say yes. So you're ready. That ain't ready. That's a sucker. You understand? Ready is somebody, whether it's a woman or a man, ready is a person who makes careful thoughts about the things they do, right? They're thought about their movements with you. Put it like this. A smart person can be dating someone that can say, this person is a gem, but I can look around the back and see that they got a gunshot wound and it ain't no bandage on it. It may not be bleeding real bad, but I still see blood leaking out. So the smart person can appreciate the person for who they are, but then in the background, you trying to help encourage them of the healing. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can help with that bandage. It's not just eating the person, and because you're impatient or because you got let down 2 and 3 relationships ago, the new person has to bring up the rear of the failed interest. That's not interest. You know what I'm saying? That's dysfunction again. That's regurgitated dysfunction. But we try to pull this game on people that we meet because we call people not ready, people that aren't ready to do what we want to do. And sometimes what we think we want to do, we're not prepared for that. We ain't half ready as we think we are. If we really real, but we think so. So we get people coming in and, you don't have time for this. You're playing games. I'm going to be honest. I remember one time the person... I was dating this person one time, and the person had been a divorcee, right? And no harm, no foul. We all have been through things, right? Okay. So I remember I heard what this person told me. They said, the ex-husband would say that I was spoiled, or I wanted him to jump on things as I wanted to. Well, then she said, and then he, I felt like I felt like he was always trying to control me. And I said, what does control look like to you? Him making good suggestions to you, or him saying you better do something? Well, he would tell me all the time, he don't like how I spend money and all this, that, and other. I said, well, is that control, or is that a husband exercising him communicating to his wife? You understand? How are you seeing this stuff? So the point I was making is all of the stuff, she didn't realize that all of the stuff she told me about what didn't work in the marriage, even as her husband, just dealing with her, she had the same traits. So the point I was making is, what makes you think you're ready today when without you, you just told me what happened 2 or 3, 4, 5 years ago, whatever, and you still appear to be that same person. So what do you think you're going to bring to the table today to be different? So that's just an example. Like, what I mean is how we bring our same old tired selves to these relationships, and we want people to adjust to who we are rather than change to be a better version. We just want we figure if that person ain't like who I am, that's okay. I'm going on over the hill. They gonna like me, and then what you gonna bring the same crap through a different package. So what you may think you look a certain way, eventually the person is going to see what you bring in and be like, this ain't worth the purchase, and they're gonna back up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, yeah. So that's why I said what I said in terms of getting into relationships prematurely that you are not wholly prepared for. And again, if you're bleeding out, that means if you're bleeding out of the relationship that you were in previously, and you never got care for the bleeding out, that means when you walk into a potentially new relationship, you're still going to be bleeding out.
Yeah.
And then not only will you be still bleeding out, but you'll blame the person that you're presently with for your bleeding out, when in fact, they had nothing to do with that. The bleeding out occurred long before they got there. It was there in the old relationship, but you never took the time out to get that bleeding taken care of. So you end up bleeding all over the new person for an issue that they had nothing to do with, based off a past experience. And again, I got to go back and say that you're just not ready. You're not ready. Here's the thing, though. Since we're using a hospital analogy, there's a reason why doctors hold certain patients overnight, depending on their situation, their medical situation. You know why? Because they want to see whether or not you have actually recovered. They hold you overnight and they monitor you. They have you on a heart monitor. They got an IV drip going, okay? They want to check to see whether or not if you have really fully recovered. They want to see whether or not if the treatment they have given you for the injury has taken and is now causing you to recover. They don't want to release you back into the public still dealing with the same issue that you came in with, because if they do that, they haven't done their jobs as doctors. And so they hold you overnight or for however many days to see whether or not, right, Dion, if you're stable, if you're able to be, can you operate on your own, or are you still bleeding out? Are you still dealing with the previous damage and injury? Okay. And a lot of us, again, we walk into situations, we walk right out of a hospital. We don't want the doctor to monitor us to see whether or not if we recovered. And we walk right into situations that we are not prepared for. Healing requires change. It requires growth. If you deal with it from a broken bone standpoint, that bone has to be reset, and it has to grow, and it has to be stabilized. Okay? If you don't do that, you end up with a bone that no longer is not set in the right place, which means you might end up walking with a limp. Because you didn't allow that bone to set and reset in the way that it should have reset. Again, applying this to relationship experiences, we do the same thing. We don't allow the change to come in our lives that we should allow the change to come so that we can be better people. Here's the truth, and I've spoken it before and I will say it again. I learned a lot from my first marriage.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot. And even though it failed, I've taken those lessons that I learned in my first marriage and I have applied them to my second marriage so that at least I don't make the same mistakes that I made in the first one and do it again in the second one. How many of us have had relationships in our lives that have not worked out? Yet we did not take those lessons that we should have learned in those relationships to apply it to new relationships so that we don't make the same mistakes in the new relationships that we made in the old relationships.
Right.
We refuse to learn from our mistakes and our failures. When in fact, if we did that, we will be a lot better off than where we are now.
Hello, first marriage. Did you hear this? Anyway, hold on. Anyway, listen.
I can't stand you, dude. I can't stand you, bro.
Let's take it back to the hospital analogy, because this is heating up. Because what you said was all facts. Now, Bruce, listen. Here's the other side of the hospital. Not all doctors hesitate to release you. Not all people you're involved with hesitate to present you with the truth and let you go, because what? They realize the kind of insurance you have.
Oh God, here we go.
You get more out of this person if we keep them a little longer. Come on. So how many
leave it to you to twist it up? Leave it to you to twist it up.
In the relationships where people say, I mean, they just okay. I kind of like them, but girl, he got a really good job. Or shorty, or the dude going to say, man, she drive a Bentley. So something got to come up out of that. So we see people, and we're in this whole era of the using spirit is so strong. We'll call ourselves interested, but that interest will just really be a layover flight. It's just a layover. Wow. It's not the final destination. It's just, I'm bored. I need something to do. This person is cool. So why not go eat with them? Why not go to Aruba? They paying for it. I'm going. We so opportunistic. So it's hard to siphon real interest. But this is why we have to take the extra step to be that much more diligent to say, look, I know I may want this and this bad for my life, but I don't have time to waste. So let me be realistic with my interest, and then that I can gauge whether or not the person is being reciprocal. And when I say realistic, healthy interest, not unhealthy stuff where somebody is just bleeding and you want somebody to fix a wound. Real stuff, right? You real interest. And once you can address that, that helps you come to a quicker resolve as to whether or not that interest is being met legitimately or not. And that way you can take that and go. But what we're doing now, like I said, like we talked about last week, we still at the auction block. We still trying to, whoever's going to come and get us and pay for it, that's where we're going. So this is why this interest thing is so widespread like it is. It's like we say one thing today, and then that same interest will change tomorrow. That's not interest. That's just, you, like I said, you're on a layover flight, and that's not no real interest. You just here walking through the airport trying to see how you can get home, right? You know how everybody knows that, how you want to get home. You don't care what flight takes you to what city, just whatever, as long as I'm moving. I don't want to be sitting here. Right? So that's how we are in the relationship realm. We, in some cases in life, we find ourselves in, we date whomever. Just keep me moving, right? Forget about it. My real interest is over there. That person is either not ready or I can't be with them anyway. But in the meantime, I still want to travel. So let's get on with it.
Wow. I mean,
it's tough. Yeah.
And I get that. I just again, you know, I don't think any of us really have, I mean, it may have to do with our age, But even if on the younger end, I really think we really need to take into consideration how much time we spend doing things that aren't worthwhile.
Yes.
That bear no fruit. We spend so much time pursuing things that in the end don't pay off. Yeah. And here, part of the reason for that is because we're not being honest and upfront as to what our real intentions are.
Yeah.
If I'm interested in you, then what does it cost me to tell you that I'm interested in you and I want to pursue you? I think part of it has to do with the fact that, and I really meant to mention this earlier, has to do with the fact that a lot of us are risk adverse. We don't want to take the risk of putting ourselves out there for fear of being rejected. But if I don't risk anything, then I don't get anything. We all want what we want, but we would rather not take the risk and get something. But that's not the way life works. At some point in time, Charles, you got to put yourself out there. At some point in time, you got to say, hey, I'm interested in you. Now, there is a possibility that that person may not be interested in you, but you'll never know if you're not honest enough and if you're not willing to risk yourself to put yourself out there to say, hey, I'm willing to go with this. Are you willing to go with it? Would you rather have a person be honest with you to say to you, hey, I'm not necessarily interested in you like that? At least then you would know you can move on to the next thing. Yeah, you can move on to the next person then. But to string somebody along, to lead them into a way that, you just taking advantage of them, you just want to manipulate them, want to get out of them what you can possibly get out of them, and you don't spend all this time on this person, and they're not interested in you. No. I think we need to grow up, and we need to say what it is. Let your yes be yes, and your no be no. Be straight up with it. Yes, I'm interested in you, or no, I'm not interested in you. And just let that be that. Because all this, as my father would say, all this rigmarole, you know what I'm saying? It ain't helping nobody. Yeah. It ain't helping you. You burning up my time, and I can't get that time back. I'm not going to sit here and frivolously spend my time with you when you're not interested in me. No. Not the kid. Nope. I got to go.
But also, Adam, see, now while that is a succinct and to the point mindset, it can also be mistaken. Now, see, I happen to know you personally, so I know your personality, and I know that you are that person that's like going to be like no nonsense and I'm out of here, right? But to some people, similar personality can be referred to as a flight risk. Like, in other words, any little thing, anything, I said, I'm done, sorry, I'm blocked. You're like, well, dang, you're not really in this to see what this is. You're in this to see if your boxes are checked. And if they're not checked, then you out. And I think that's a thing that gets blurred lines in dating now. People are calling themselves showing up for the party. I'm here. Who am I dating? Who I'm with? But you're not giving yourself. And I know we use the whole thing, I don't have time and life is too short. But guess what? We spend our too short life in 3-year sleeping romances. We wasting our time anyway. You still not getting to your destination, your final destination, but you don't have time for this, but you got time with that. Time wasted. You know what I'm saying? You don't have time to cry, but I have time to be lazy with you. So we gotta be realistic and wake up as to what we are really looking for, because we do a lot of talking, but our actions are so cutthroat. People nowadays will cut you in a minute. Like, don't you? You're not doing enough of this. You're not saying the right thing. It's not giving true interest. All this foolishness that we come up with today when we're not giving true people. We got masks on. So people got to realize this whole mass nation that we got going on, everybody is in character. Now, I don't mean any harm. I was looking at the Jamie Foxx thing the other night.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Saying this for a reason. I like Jamie Foxx, right? I do. I've always liked his stuff on Living Color, Color, and all these things. But I'm gonna tell you the one thing I've had a problem with whether it was the church house, whether you were giving a speech, whomever you are,
Okay.
be authentic, even in your experience, even in your testimony, whatever it may be. The minute you add your acting gift to it, it becomes planned. It's no longer authentic. It's planned. So my point is, I was following him on all the things he was saying and stuff I see, but then I kept seeing these purposeful moments of moving emotion. They were on purpose. They were purposeful moments. It wasn't so just sitting there in a chair and you don't know what the rest of the show gonna look like. You're just kind of going through and talking, and what happens. No, this was a choreographed emotional pull. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the point is it spiritual or is it you? So this is what I say when it gets to these kind of things where we come with these masks nowadays, and we know how to tell people whatever they need to hear to get them to buy in. And unfortunately, my sisters, the sisters on tonight, most of them, if somebody say, I used to be a killer, and I'm going to church tomorrow. That's, hey man, you go on to church. Now he still got the 9mm in his pocket. He ain't turn it into the cops. He still got the gun. So he still had the potential to shoot somebody again. He's still armed, but he's talking different. So my point is, if you're going to talk different, you have to disarm and disengage and show different. You know what I'm saying? And so on tonight, I'm saying, people on tonight, see, when Adam has so much passion and vigor about his mindset, and what we have to understand about Adam is he comes from the loving era of bet you by golly you are. Oh, anyway, so he comes from loving song days, and his mindset is, when I pick you at the school dance tonight, we're getting
really.
Anyway, but no, seriously, I think honestly, the Lord, my God, He blessed my good friend Adam. He blessed him back then, even in his former experience and even his new experience, because in today's world, y'all would see Adam on CNN with somebody trying to play games.
Really?
You have to take her shoes off and leave her in the cold. She shouldn't have been playing with me.
Oh my God. Dude.
In today's day, man, it's a whole different game plan in relationships. And it is something out here on the street. I don't put that wish for nobody to not have a relationship today. A legitimate, anyway.
So let me kind of fix this a little bit, y'all. I got to do damage control because I know
I'm just
Charles.
Kidding with you, man. I'm just kidding with you.
I know you are. I know you. I know where you're coming from. But I'm trying to get them not to take you down and hang you up real quick. They're about to string you up. I know they're about to string you up. So I haven't seen the Jamie Foxx thing yet. I know I want to. I'm interested in whatever that is. Right? I have not seen it yet, so I can't even attest to whatever the content is in terms of what he's doing. But I will say this. I believe that everybody's experience is, of course, your experience. I cannot invalidate or validate. You know why? Because it's your experience. It's what you have gone through. It's what you have seen. It's what has happened to you. Okay. And so if you present yourself in a certain way, again, me personally, I'm gonna take it at face value. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing though, too, and this is what I also understand about, being an actor or being somebody who is on the stage and doing what they do. Yes, he's absolutely going to be in his bag. Yeah. The dude is an Oscar winner. He's amazing. He's absolutely going to be in his bag. He started out as a comedian. He's absolutely going to be in his bag. He's a singer. He's got albums. He's going to be in his bag. You know what I'm saying? However that expression comes out, again, it's not for any of us to say whether or not it is authentic or genuine. Now we can, as human beings, individuals, we can say okay, it's subjective to us, and we're seeing it this way or we're seeing it that way. But to say whether or not if it was real is his experience. That's what he has experienced. Just like when I speak and I say what I need to say, that's my experience. Now you can invalidate it all you want, but that does not take away what I went through, what I experienced with like that. I'm just trying to get it. I'm just trying to get it so, Charles, they don't come at you because you know they will. They already have.
Listen, this is the only reason why I say this, Adam, and I'm just being for real. And of those who haven't watched, if you have, good. But if you haven't, this is what I mean. If I sat here and was like, I had this thing, and y'all just don't understand, the blood just wouldn't stop bleeding. It was in my hands, and all of a sudden I said, then you're gonna be like, "What's up, man? Are you being for real? Are you know what I mean?" All I'm saying is, when you say to me, especially having grew up in church, I'm used to seeing either raw truths come out, right, or raw. I've seen it both, right? So my point is, so it's nothing wrong with being who we are and acting in our gifts and doing whatever we do. But I'm just saying, sometimes when some matters are specific in a way, and especially with all of the rhetoric that came with that, it's just, to me, it's like, yes, anybody who survives anything where you on your back is amazing, but it's all the more reason to give why do you think, let's turn this all the way around back to the church house then, Adam. Why do they say offer up a sincere praise? So if you're offering up a testimony, offer up a sincere testimony. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that I know it's hard. I don't know it's hard. I don't know what he's doing. That's all.
But here's part of the issue, Charles. The issue is whether or not we think it's sincere.
Yeah.
From him, it is sincere. I have no other reason than to believe that it actually is sincere. Others may not necessarily feel that way, and that is their prerogative to feel that way. Just like in church. And here's a side note. Here's a side note for everybody. Jamie, I don't know if Jamie Foxx goes to church or not. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we can't put him in that box. I would never put him in that box. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting, whenever you try to put the church and the performing arts together, or Hollywood together, or the stage together, it's always going to be a mixed bag. It has always been a mixed bag. It will always be a mixed bag. Okay, but again, my whole point in even addressing this whole thing, because we've gotten kind of off track with our subject matter.
Hello.
But my point is, your experience is your experience. You can't tell me that it's not, because you weren't there. You're not me. Just like your experience is your experience, my experience is my experience. To try to invalidate that or make it not genuine is not for us to see.
This was all a part of the master plan, because you see what Demetra just said is exactly how I see people in dating.
About the interest, about people being sincere.
But you see how she can say something, listen, about a person she don't know either, right? But she has her position on it. But she says, oh, you blah, blah, blah. So my point is, when it comes to people dating and genuine interest, how the only person who knows their true intent is them. So give people their proper due. Let's lose these lists. Let's lose these experiences that didn't work with Joe and Mary, because these people aren't them people, right? People in your face today aren't them. Yes, are some of them wasting your time? Of course, right? Like with anything. But not everybody is there to do that. So this whole letting your shoes not turn to pumpkins and running in a hot, quick minute, the minute something doesn't align, we have to stop making ourselves the authority. You're not the authority on sincerity and love. But we think when people don't act in a way that we think looks like love or looks like the intent to get to love, we're going to drop you when we got a terrible love record. 32 and
I think it was
32 and 32. Right. So my point is, so we can't sit there and say what the authority is or what something looks like from a good perspective if we don't have a good record. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. So
Tom Brady can teach some quarterback camps because he got the hardware to go with it, right?
Okay.
He can teach the camp. But if you've been in the NFL for 30 some years, but you've never been on a winning team, never been on a Pro Bowl, never been on a Super Bowl, you can just say, I can tell you how to get in the league. That's it. Right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, I got you. I think too also that we must consider that, when it comes to getting back to the whole interest idea, that I think part of it too, something that we really don't talk about is whether or not if I actually believe you in terms of what you do, in terms of what you say and your behavior toward me. I think if we're being honest, part of us pursuing relationships with one another has to come into the realm of whether or not I believe you. That when you do what you do and you say what you say towards me, that I actually do believe you. Because a lot of it has to do with the fact that if I don't believe you, then I'm not going to pursue you. If I don't believe you, I'm not going to spend time with you. If I don't believe you, what do we have to do with one another? But if I do believe you, then I'm going to ask you out again on another date. If I do believe you, I'm going to ask you to marry me. If I do believe you, then that means our relationship will survive the test of time. Because not only do I believe you, but you also believe me. And we believe one another in terms of our love for each other. We believe each other in terms of us pursuing one another. We believe that we are both interested in each other. And I think sometimes if a relationship is really going to work, both of us have to take that, as you will, that leap of faith in believing in the other person actually is there for us. Otherwise, how does any of this work? How does any of this come to fruition? How does any of this succeed? It doesn't. It doesn't work. It doesn't succeed without our belief in one another.
Right. And you have to also say to yourself, like you said, that was a powerful part to think about, that belief concept, because many of us have lost hope. So we don't, it's like, it's almost like insanity, because we show up looking for something we don't believe exists. We in this day and time, we almost think everything and everyone is inauthentic. Nobody is for real. Oh, you just like them. Oh, you probably the same way. You not serious. You not ready to do this. Like, how you gonna believe anything? You know what I'm saying? You gotta move on something. You gotta believe it. And I always say interest is a two-way campfire. It ain't one person finding the wood and starting the fire. It's both people churning them sticks together until the fire brews. And the problem is we not both putting our emphasis in it. We're just looking for someone else to do all the action while we get the liberty of benefiting whether or not we get to sit back and see whether or not they are for real. You know what I'm saying? And like Keisha brought up a good point. She says consistency is typically the proof. I always say, listen, a homosexual can be consistent in getting himself in somebody's house. So sometimes consistency is the key, but the intent behind the consistency is even greater, because you got people who are good at being bad, or great at being manipulators, great at being all of those things. So they can, I've heard people say, where's Ray at? You know, oh, he's at home walking our dog and taking care of the kids and doing this, that, and other. He better because he knows what this is. But Ray also sleeping with the neighbors down the street, one of your friends, but he's well oriented with his duties. He's consistent, but he's still inauthentic because he's unfaithful to you. So you gotta know. Sometimes, the consistency is good, but how much does it matter if the person isn't isn't like if they're consistent with you, but their intentions aren't consistent with what you want.
So they're playing a long game, basically. It's a long con.
Yeah, people can do that, you know. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but you know what, Demetra, okay, Demetra,
She gonna fight you, bro. She gonna fight you, man.
Well, I love this. No, listen, it can last however long that person wants it to last until they get tired, which is in some cases years. When a person, consistency is one of the strongest motivators of wasting time, because you have got me in the practice of receiving what you do well, right? And now if I'm believing in what you're doing, I see what you're doing. You're doing this all the time. I'm used to it, even though I don't like it, but it is solid. I don't necessarily like it, but it's a solid thing I can believe in. You don't do everything right, but you pick me up from work at 5 every day. Which I know you at home cheating with the car while I'm at work. Or did you pick me up? At least you go get the food. At least pick up the kids. So my point is, apples to apples, but we got to say to ourselves, consistency is good, but I think it's the way we look at it. Again, we look at it like we up on the hill and the person has to perform for us. The person, you know what makes a person authentically consistent is when they see the authenticity in you as well. People just don't grow and become consistent and labor on your behalf for no reason. They do it because they feel you're worth the labor. And so they see that this person is worth the sowing because I'm sure there's a wonderful harvest coming from this with this person. They just don't come out and say, you know what, just because you look fine like this, you ain't gonna have no problem out of me 365 days a week. I'm gonna be right there in your face doing everything I say. I'm planning all the dates, taking you every 7 countries. It don't happen like that, right? People do this where they feel the ground is safe to sow themselves. That's all. People will sow themselves where they feel it's safe to do so. If it's not, you ain't see no consistency whatsoever. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I think Deonka has kind of hit on it because I was sitting here thinking about it too. And she says that that's where discernment comes in. And I think often if we're not careful when it comes to, especially when you're initially meeting and initially dating someone, that you discern the person that you're with. You know, I think so often we do kind of like look at a person from the physical aspect, not really digging deeper to the character aspect of who the person actually is. And as a result of that, we end up in situations where we later find out this person wasn't all that they were cracked up to be. The reason why is because we did not discern them. We did not vet them. We did not observe their behavior as being true and honest. Now, yeah, they can consistently do some things. They can consistently lie to you. They can consistently manipulate you. But at some point in time, Charles, we have to take responsibility for ourselves and look at this person and go, yeah, something's not quite right. I know they consistently doing what they're doing. This isn't the way this is supposed to be. Here's the issue. Here's the real heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is that if I am in a relationship with you and we are both vested in this relationship, then the consistency won't be one-sided.
Yeah.
The consistency will be reciprocal, which means I'll be consistent and you'll be consistent. We will be consistent with one another together.
Okay.
And the foundation of this is the fact that we are honest and truthful, that I am not deliberately deceiving you and being duplicitous with you. I'm being truthful and honest and direct. I started out saying this in the conversation. We're going to end it just like this. If I'm not being direct with you, if I'm not being transparent with you, then you need to hit the road. If you're not being honest with me and you're not being direct with me, you need to hit the road. Because there's nothing good that's going to come out of a relationship where one of us or both of us are being deceptive. Ladies and gentlemen, if anybody's being deceptive with you, if anybody's being manipulative of you, you need to roll. You need to say, okay, I'm gone, I'm out. this is not going to work.
But you know what's sad? As it is with the young, and so it is with the old.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really want to admit it. But let's put it like this. Oh, I like a ratchet stripper type chick. Make an example. I like me a little rough around the edges street dude.
Street dog.
What do you think comes with that? Like, I mean, that is packaged in rough, sharp edges. So the point is, when you hang around those environments, you're going to get cut, you're going to get scratched, you're going to get stabbed, you're going to get many things, right? Because of what you like. And so the point I'm getting to is, we say all of the right things, but many of us like the opposite and wrong people from who we are. We don't want to admit it, but when the smoke clears, we are left with the problematic person who really is not that good for you mentally, your psychological, physically. They stressing you out your head, losing your hair at work because you don't know where they at. They didn't come home last night. But when the person is too predictable, they're boring. But if you risky and give me something to cry a little bit about and tell my friends about and argue, get the bad advice, and then make up with you, I'm happy. But we don't want to admit that part. We want to just make it all like, it's just come home and tell me how much you miss me and love me and we're going to have a great time. No, people want to say, you know what is this in your phone? I'm telling you, ain't nothing in my phone. I was getting some flowers for you. Okay. All right. That's what we don't want the truth. We say these things, but we want to be. I remember one of my favorite movies. Are You Not Entertained?
Okay.
He said that because he was like, look, y'all don't want us in here regularly fighting. You don't want that. You want somebody to get their head chopped off and killed in here. So when he realized how sick are you all to want to see us kill other men, you want to praise us for killing other men. So it is in relationship. When you are normal and when you do normal stuff, it's a problem. And I think, listen, Demetra and Dion, listen, you know why they can appreciate it? Because from a mature woman perspective, they done been there, done that. But it still doesn't alleviate us from having the potential of meeting these kinds of men and women at this age that still come with the stuff. Look, why do you think they keep providing the pills and stuff for women and men? So the foolishness can continue.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Was say, I'm gonna go ahead and me and mother gonna retire and going out there to Stone Mountain, Georgia, and going to get us a house and build. No, nowadays the man is like, yeah, the doctor told me I'm 65, told me I got a strong back. He gave me some pills. I said I'm going to the club. So he thinks his foolishness meter can start over again. You know how they do the miles when you got too many cars, they do the rollback. This is what's happening to men and women nowadays. They're ignoring their physical change because there are some things they can still do physically that can roll the odometer back. So I can still keep being foolish. That's the problem. So it is in social media, so it is in the medical world. They're controlling the narrative. But anyway, all right, go ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna say it just like Dion said it. I like boring and I like peaceful. I ain't got time for foolishness.
We all should like it. We should. But the minute we are presented with a problem at home, like give us a good problem at home and somebody not doing something right, and then here comes the reformed something that's presenting themselves changed and look a little like something. Now you're willing to experiment because they seem nice. So we're going to see where this goes. But don't you got so-and-so at home? I know, but listen, I didn't sign up for that. That person don't want to do this. I don't have time for that. You get my drift. So yeah.
No, I don't.
People know. The people that know. Believe me.
I know. I just think when you should be at a certain level in life, a certain stage in life. And again, I don't think this has anything to do with chronological age as much as it has to do with personal maturity and character. That you realize that you can spend a lot of time in the foolishness of things. Absolutely. You can spend your time in the crazy shenanigans of things. You can absolutely spend your time dealing with tomfoolery. Okay, you absolutely can. Or you can grow up and mature and pursue a worthwhile relationship with those who are worth your time, that you find value in. All this other stuff is as the word would say, is passing away. It literally is
fading away.
So while you have the time, take the time, value your time enough to find someone who is worth your time, who is worth your interest in terms of spending your life with. That's all I got to say. Because like I said, I like it boring and I like it peaceful all day long. Yes.
No, that's what's up, man. It's like, people got to just say to people nowadays, look, we got to change the narrative. People for those that are trying to meet somebody or trying to get their energy matched, you have to say, are you dating with a purpose, or are you dating just to spend and hang out and just to, you just looking for a companion? Or I think we skip those parts because we get so blinded by attraction about what we see. Right. People just need to say from the jump. I'm not talking about marriage today and all that, but what is your purpose for this? Is there a purpose to do it? And that answer, a lot of times, that's where the discernment needs to take place. Not looking at how sexy somebody is, but you need to have them ears open to listen to that answer. Because a lot of times that answer is going to tell you what it is.
True.
All right. Yeah. You got to not forget, y'all, don't get fooled, because we live in an open society. We live in an open world. And so somebody might tell you, I'm here for whatever you want. I'm good. I mean, I want you to be good too, but I'm good. So we could do this however. Wrong. You need definitive pathway. You don't need this open world because you're going to be lost in it. But anyway, we appreciate you all tuning. I know we haven't had the best of means today. And, sometimes, my internet actually held up today. Somebody.
Surprisingly, it did. Your internet actually did hold up today. I was like, "What? He's not stuttering?"
Look, it's just the hotel internet. That's all. But anyway,
right. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you can move an hotel.
Right. Anyway, so no, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back to regularly scheduled program next week at 4:30, God willing, and nothing crazy happen. We'll be back to the regular Central Standard Time.
Nobody told you go out of town.
Whatever, man. I gotta go where the work calls. But anyway,
whatever, man.
Y'all, man, and we will definitely, now I gotta go to some event at Morehouse. I ain't got time for no foolishness. Anyway, all right, then. I don't know. You're not even gonna have all these things. I'm not for all that.
I'm going to dinner. I'm gonna give me some food. That's what I'm about to do.
All right. Peace out. Holler at y'all next week. So let's just go ahead today. We won't do any after show. We're just gonna
make sure it's proud of your internet.
Yeah, I'm proud of my. That's why I'm proud. Thank you. I told myself, if I had to buy a hotspot, I'm not gonna be jittering no more. That's it. All right. Holla.
Peace.